Hey, what is up? Guys, I am the chocolate syrup on this vanilla sundae, okay? So let's have some fun. Let's giggle and wiggle. Guys, remember when someone said the N-word? That was cool, right? It's not that I was surprised that it was said. I was just surprised it wasn't the guy wearing cargo shorts talking about pregnancy porn, okay? That's the... Oh, guys, I am ready to party tonight, okay? Who's ready to get drunk, right? Guys, I took a shot earlier, and my first reaction was like, man, feels like the hug I never got from my dad, okay? Guys, I'm ready to get the kind of drunk where it's 2 a.m. and I'm yelling at a stranger for not being a better dad, okay? Lonely Hearts Club in the house, okay? I was thinking about cutting my hair recently. It's getting really long. And honestly, it's just a lot of maintenance, you know? Like, I feel like I'm not, like, pulling it off, you know? Like, I feel like I'm not cool enough to have long hair, you know? I don't play an instrument. I don't do street magic. Guys, I don't even sell ketamine, okay? Sometimes I have, like, really good hair days, and then, like, today I was looking at myself in the mirror, I'm like, I look like a mid-90s butch lesbian, okay? I look like I should have been on the early seasons of Roseanne. It is a lot of... I get mistaken for Native American a lot, which, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of cool, you know? A lot of undeserved respect and white guilt thrown my way, constantly. It's super fun. It's weird though when people find out that I'm Latino. And they're just like, it's like when you go to a friend's house and you're like, do you have anything to drink? It's like, well, we have Mix-Aid. It's like, never mind, I'm not even thirsty anymore. I'm like, seriously? You can't spring for the Kool-Aid? I do, man. Some people, they think I get offended when they're like, oh, are you Native American? And I'm like, oh, no, I'm not. And they're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. And I'm like, yeah. Like, not offended. Sweet burn. You really got me. Can't believe I was compared to a majestic bronze-skinned forest warrior with raven black hair. Sweet burn, paleface. You really got me. You know? I grew up, anyone else here grew up a nerd in high school? Anyone else a nerd? There was too many cargo shorts in here for that not to be the answer, of course. Yeah, man, I was really lame in high school. My older roommate, he used to do heroin in high school, and he told me all these really crazy stories. And honestly, my first thought was like, man, you must have been so fucking cool in high school. Like, holy shit. Like, he was just like partying every weekend. Meanwhile, I was just at home playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Alone, okay? Yeah, guys, that's a two-player game, okay? Notice a lot of like rappers today have like face tattoos. Have you seen that? I'm not gonna lie, I think it's kind of cool, okay? I'm like, man, I bet if I had tattoos in high school, I would have been so much cooler, you know? Maybe I would have gotten invited to parties, right? But then I realized how dumb I was in high school. I'm like, maybe the kid that was rocking the corn t-shirt and Jinko jeans, you know, probably shouldn't have been making life-altering decisions to his body, you know? Because then I would have just been an almost 30-year-old adult covered in Modest Mouse lyrics and Deftones neck tattoos, right? All right. Got a lot of Lonesome Crowded West fans in the house. Cool. No, it's fine. I know the vibe I give off, you know? I do. I look like I prefer Modest Mouse's earlier stuff. I know. It's true. Joke was for two people in the back. Anyone like drinking alone, huh? Where are my sad guys at, right? My sad people. It's 2019. All right. Yeah, man. Drinking alone rules. Yeah, for like the first 5 minutes, right? You start dancing, you take a shot, you put on Fleetwood Mac's Rumors on, right? You're having a good time, right? And then all of a sudden you get winded and you have an existential crisis and you're like, what am I doing with my life? Like the other night I was drunk and I was making dinner, typical Tuesday, and I decided to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but I used Eggo waffles instead of bread, right? Yeah, you're welcome for that one. And I was like, man, this is really delicious, but why does it taste so sad? It was probably because I was eating it over the sink in the dark, okay? Like a recently divorced man just putting the pieces back together. It's a messy sandwich. You have to eat it that way. You guys are a lot of fun. I'm guessing we got a lot of potheads in the room, right? Yeah, all right. Does someone yell 69? Because that's my kind of time. Yeah, man, I'm a big pothead. I like to get stoned. Anyone here fuck with dabs? You paying heifers doing that wax? Huh?
No.
All right, calm down. My gosh. Guys, no one needs to get that high, okay? What are you doing to yourselves? My roommate used to do dabs all the time. And every time I hear that fucking blowtorch light up, I'm just like, are you okay? Everything? Where did the camp counselor hurt you, okay? I feel like the only people that need to get that high are like people who've been through like some trauma or, you served a couple of tours in Afghanistan or something. The first time I took a hit of dabs, I was just like, oh God, what have I done to myself? Like I couldn't breathe, I was just coughing. I was just like, looking at what time it was, I was like, oh man, I gotta call my boss. There's no way I'm gonna make it into work. I'm way too high. I gotta be there in about 12 hours. Have you ever been the kind of high where you have like a mini anxiety attack and you're like, this is who I am now, You think you're just gonna be high forever, You're like, I gotta meet my mom for dinner in a week. I'm not sure I'm gonna tell her I'm a degenerate, I'm just high forever now. It was the kind of high where you're like staring at the firmament of your own mind, thinking about how we're all one, bound together through love and energy, and how we should all just be kinder to each other and laugh more often. Then you realize you've just been staring at a fish tank for like 27 minutes. You're like, all right, guys, I get kicked out of a lot of Petcos, okay? It's where the creeps go. You guys are fun. I like you guys a lot. Hell yeah, okay. So I have a new thing that I want to work on, and I'll give you a little back story on it real quick. So I was asked to do a show, Stick or Treat, where we all dress up as our favorite comics and write a set as that comedian, and someone jokingly said, hey, book David to be George Lopez, because that would be hilarious. And by hilarious, they meant that's the only Latino person we know. Pretty sure that's what they meant. So I get to the show to support all the comics, not thinking I'm going to be on the show, and they're like, we can't wait to hear your George Lopez impression. And I'm like, there's no way. I'm not prepared. I didn't write. I thought you guys were kidding. So I didn't perform that night, but literally the next day I wrote this because a lot of people asked me, David, what is your take on being Latino? Like what's your experience? And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know what to talk about because I'm just not that kind of comedian. Like to me, I don't feel like I'm a Latino comic. I feel like I'm a comedian who happens to be Latino, So thank you. So here's my impression. It wasn't even the funny part. Here's my impression of, here's what I was gonna do, okay? So just wanna paint the scene, right? So just imagine like a big comedy special. George Lopez, I'm dressed to the nines, hair slicked back. Lowrider by War is playing. We all know it, right? Yeah. And I come out on stage, right? Okay, ready? Orale, ¿qué pasó? What up, guys? How we doing tonight? Simone, hell yeah. White people, you know what, man? You don't beat your kids enough, man. My mom, she used to beat me all the time. My abuela, she used to hit me with the chancla. You know what the chancla is? She used to beat me all the time with it, Holmes. Oh my God. And I glorify it as this cultural norm, even though it has left deep psychological scars on my psyche. And I am just continuing the cycle of abuse and just compounding my trauma by not having an honest discussion about the problematic and oftentimes toxic nature of my heritage and finding a source of pride of bottling up my emotions, because the patriarchy has made me feel that being vulnerable is a weakness, and that truly being a man and having machismo means never opening yourself up or expressing yourself and repressing memories instead of finding constructive ways to deal with your grief and guilt and finding a catharsis and just letting it fester in your soul as it slowly chips away at all your adult relationships. Orale, Holmes! Hell yeah! Ah, tú sabes! So yeah. That's why I don't talk about that shit. Oh, thank you guys. I'll end on a thing. I'll end on one thing. I usually end on it. It's my closing thing, I guess. So when I was like 12 years old, I thought that I was gay for like 3 days. Anyone else confused sexually growing up?
I'm confused.
Alright, sure, you were all normal as shit. Fuck you, you cowards. Yeah, I was the weird one. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it turns out just because you listen to the Smiths play the recorder and draw anime, yeah, that doesn't make you gay, okay? You know, kind of hard to explain the nuances of sexuality to a 6th grade bully, okay? Oh, you play the recorder? Yeah, you would want to hot cross my buns, you queer, right? All fairness to him, kind of a sweet recorder burn, okay? Not a lot of, if you're into recorder humor, not a lot of jokes out there. So, I did, I thought I was gay, and I don't know, man, I was just dumb, you know, like you could have told me anything and I would have been like, yeah, I'm probably possessed. Like, I just didn't know, you know, I wasn't culturally informed about anything. I grew up kind of repressed. And I was like thinking about it, I'm like, oh man, I might be gay. Like, I'm a big pro wrestling fan. Do we have any pro wrestling fans in the house? My favorite pro wrestler when I was growing up was the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Do you guys know who that is? That's the sound I make when my nipples get hard. Yep, see, you guys know. He is my favorite wrestler of all time. And I remember when I was a kid, I was like 12, coming of age. I had a giant, from Pro Wrestling Illustrated, I used to get a subscription. I had a big magazine, I had a big poster of him on my wall. And this was 80s Flair, NWA, big ass title belt, green sequin robes, no shirt, platinum blonde hair, and he was just going like this. You know, because he's a fucking champion. And I remember like thinking like maybe I am like gay, I don't know. And I remember trying my hardest. I put my hand up against the wall and I tried to will a gay boner. You know, just like, ah! Just like freaking out about it. My mom's in the other room like, what are you doing? Like, you wouldn't understand, you know. Yeah, it turns out it doesn't work that way. It's not like Dragon Ball Z where you can just like transform yourself into another sexual orientation. It doesn't work that way. I watched a lot of cartoons. So anyway, I was very fortunate enough to have a friend when I was younger who was also very sexually confused. And I told him about the way I felt, and he was like, hey, you know what's crazy? I feel the same way. My parents are gonna be gone. Why don't you come over? Why don't we blow each other? Just figure this whole thing out, right? I'm like, you know what? That sounds like a rad idea. Totally not a memory I'm gonna repress for like 30 years and just start telling in front of strangers, right? Like, let's do this. So, next day, we go back to his parents' place, right? And he's a gentleman about it, you know, he's cool. He goes down on me first. It's, you know, super chill. Guys, I gave it a solid 8 seconds. And I was like, not for me, you know. But I didn't want to like, just, you know, stop doing, you know, I didn't want to freak him out. You know, I'm like, this was a big day for both of us. He was pretty pumped. So I like gave it a few and I was like, all right, I'm done, you know. But what I didn't expect was how into it he was. You know, he's like, oh yeah, this is what I'm meant to do. You know, like he found his calling. And he gets on his back and he pulls down his pants and he's like, my turn. And guys, he had the biggest dick I had ever seen at the time. This is, you know, pre-internet for me. So I was like, holy shit, he was just, it was vicious. That thing, that was a gnarly hog. I was just staring down the barrel of. I was like, oh my God, like it was like veiny and triumphant. Like it looked like a fist, like it had knuckles, you know? I was like, oh my God, is this what being scared straight means? Because it's working. Like, oh man. I was a real coward about it. I was just like, man, I gotta get going. You know, you've been a wonderful host. It's a really lovely home you have here. But I gotta go. Yeah, and I bailed, man. I'm a coward. I bailed. Yeah, he just kind of left it hanging. He might have grown up to be, you know, Levi right there. I don't know. I've never heard back from him. But I remember leaving, like, kind of relieved. Because I had figured out something about myself, you know? I had peeled back these layers of understanding, and I'm like, I know this about myself now. But at the same time, I was doing that weird guy shame math that we do, where it's like, well, technically it wasn't that gay. I mean, you know, neither of us came, and I was crying most of the time, so I don't think it counted. All right, you guys, I'm David. I will always be David Melendez. Thank you so much. Love you guys.